Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is your host, King Gio. So many of you have asked me, am I going to do an OMI in a Hellcat video? And I reluctantly have said no, but since you've asked, I am going to give you the rundown. So as you well know, in 2019, OMI had gotten arrested for pirating cable TV. Not only just for pirating cable TV, for copyright infringement, tax evasion, and other criminal activities. Tax fraud is another one. So he was caught he was caught providing services that were illegal. He had over 100,000 subscribers, and he was generating over $34 million. That's why he bought his cars and a suite of a house and stuff like that. So he had gotten raided. So the FBI seized everything that he had, his cars, his homes. At one point, if you look at his indictment, he had $50,000 in cash in one car and $10,000 in the other, and etc. So earlier on this year, Omar Castillo, better known as OMI in a Hellcat, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to money laundering. I'm not going to say money laundering because I haven't seen it yet. But anyway, it was tax evasion, copyright infringement, and so forth. He was ordered to pay $30 million to pay back the $30 million. They took away his cars. He got to pay $5.6 million, and plus he got to pay $10 million on these companies that he stole from Disney and stuff like that. So that's the restitution of it. He got hit with a 5.5-year sentence, and he started doing that sentence this May 8th. So Omar got sentenced May 8th. From May 8th, you got to do 80. In federal prison, you have to do 80% of your time. So out of 5.5 years, you're looking at 4 and change that he has to do. And the thing about that, he's probably going to do that in minimum prison anyway, which is no gauge, no nothing. You can walk in and out whenever you want to, like a little Martha Stewart thing, because his crime was not that high level that when they put him in maximum or a medium security facility. So he was sentenced May 8th, and he has all the restitutions. He has to pay. He gave all of his assets back. He gave all of his cars back, and that's where we're at now. Now, when I first did the video with OMI in a Hellcat, I thought it was fake because the way he portrayed it, the way he made it sound, and then the way things were, the videos that he made about them bringing the other house, it was just too Hollywood made. You understand? And to think that someone would make $30-some-odd million doing IPTV, just charging $34 per month, when you only had 100,000 people subscribing. So so it was kind of hard to amass. Wow, $34 million. You got $30 million just doing that. So I was kind of suspicious, as to were other YouTubers out there, until I saw the indictment. I was like, oh, you know what, this guy was true. And I went on and I apologized to OMI. The thing that gets me the most, I mean, you guys think that it's, that his story is cool because it went right to riches. He didn't have anything. He went to something. But it's just the way he did things. It's like, I mean, his fall was OMI himself. OMI became his own enemy. And I can tell you why. Because had OMI stayed incognito, had OMI stayed out of the limelight, had OMI not used YouTube as his platform, he probably would have gone away with it. Because all he really had to do at the end of the day was find some good CPA and pay off those taxes. Plain and simple. He could have easily paid off. He could have easily paid off all those taxes gotten out of the game and would have been way ahead of the game. But he chose to go on YouTube and he chose to splurge what he had, to show what he had. And someone got wind of that and turned it over to the FBI. And the FBI said, "Wait, what is this guy doing? What is this Hispanic guy doing with all these cars? Where did he get these cars? Where did he get money to get to the Sweeterboro house? Where did he get this? Where did he get that?" He rose suspicion, especially when you're a minority. You don't see Mr. Beast going behind bars because of what he did, right? No, they wouldn't even look at Mr. Beast if that was the case, that he did something like that. But he's a minority. He's up there. He's showing off his cars, his house, and all this kind of stuff, and that's what got him. He became his worst. He became his own worst enemy, like Donald Trump. Had Donald Trump not gone into politics, none of this would have happened to him. He still would have stood in New York. He would have done his business deals. He still would have had his TV shows, but he wanted to be bigger than life itself. And look all the shit that happens. So, but regardless of whether he gets arrested or regardless of whether Donald Trump goes to jail, whether regardless if he doesn't go to jail, if all these things fall in place and he doesn't do any time, that's still going to tarnish his image, because he's still going to be, even if Congress decide to expunge his impeachment, it doesn't really matter, because we all know that he got impeached twice. We all know that he got indicted. That just doesn't go away. That stays in the history books for future generations. And that's a disgrace, And when OMI did what he did, he didn't take responsibility for what he did. And he's always kept saying, there's a gray area, And there never was a gray area. There is no gray area in copyright infringement. It's there. It's black and white. You cannot produce something without the written consent of the owner. You cannot produce, when you open up a cable company, you have to ask these companies, Disney, NBC, CBS, Paramount, you have to have their permission for you to put their content on your platform. And then you have to give them a percentage of that. It's not free. They get a percentage of that. So it's not a gray area. Is there a gray area when you plagiarize a song? Look at P. Diddy. P. Diddy gives $5,000 a day to Sting for the music beat that he used for Biggie Small. $5,000 a day he gives him because he copyrighted without the permission of Sting. All right. So anything that is copyrighted, anything that has, your signature on it, that it says that it belongs to you, you have to get permission, no matter what. And that's where the copyright infringement comes in. People think that you sell drugs is illegal, but you know that if you sell drugs, you have to pay taxes on those drugs. How will you put that on a form? I don't know. But any income that you make, legal or illegal, taxes has to be paid. Taxes automatically has to be paid. And that's where the tax evasion comes in. It's copyright infringement comes in because, he was putting contents out there without the permission or written consent of these companies. So, as good as the story sounds, and as good as the life that he sounds, he just screwed up by directly going into YouTube. And like I said before, had he kept himself low profile, you could have shown the Sweeterboro house, because the house was worth maybe $300,000. So that's not going to raise suspicious. But when you have all these cars and you have all these motorcycles and all these people coming to your house, there are jealous people out there. And someone might probably went to the FBI and said, yo, I want you to check this guy out. Look, he got this, he got that, and blah, blah. How is this Puerto Rican guy got all these kind of things? You know? And that's the way it is. You know, greediness is the root of all downfall. When you're a drug dealer, back in the 80s, how did they get caught? Because they got money, they started buying houses, they started buying cars, and, you know, the local police, wait, this cat last week, didn't have a car. He had a bike. All of a sudden, he got a brand new Camaro, or he got a Cutlass, or he got a Cadillac. Where did he get this money? And that's where the investigation starts coming in. Instead of laying low, putting your money in a foreign account, you know, saving up some money from some lawyers, then you get out of the game. You know what I'm saying? And once you get out of the game, find yourself a good lawyer and say, listen, I want to be able to do this legally. How do I pay taxes on this? And blasey, 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 blasey. You know, there are ways around it, whereas you can just pay for what you did. You could say you sold drugs, right? But they would have to catch you selling the drugs. They would have to have evidence of you doing the illicit drug transactions and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's ways around that aspect, if I'm not mistaken. You know, if you're not a big time drug dealer, they're not looking for you, and you say, you know, I'm assuming that there are ways. But when you're a young man and you go into front of the TV and you're making headways and you have all these people following you, you know, it's going to grab the attention of someone who has nothing else better to do. You know, and they want a story. I mean, Solo Man, he was demonetized. You don't hear Solo Man, and Solo Man was with OMI. Him, Entertainment, and Solo Man. There was those three little guys right there. That's how OMI started with Solo Man. And Solo Man did some bullshit, went to Entertainment. They were scammers too, but their business wasn't as big as Solo Man. I mean, their business wasn't as big as OMI. So, what's the future for OMI? Unless he has some money stashed away somewhere in the Cayman Islands or in some bank account, he's going to have to start from zero. Unless those properties that he has, those buildings that he has, which I doubt under his name, are legit businesses that he took out using legit money. That's the only money that he's going to see. That's it, unless he has something stashed, because no one's going to give him credit now because he has nothing to stand on. All those people that gave him credit, what are they going to say? Oh, I'm going to give you $10,000 credit because I know you're good for it. Yeah, good for it for what? You no longer have the business. You know, so I don't know what's getting. He was also being sued by Nike, so I don't know what happened with that lawsuit. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for him to go back to the roots that he was once before, because everybody knew that OMI had a channel. Everybody knew that OMI was making money through YouTube. You know, that's probably the only revenue. That's probably the only revenue that he gets is through YouTube. You know, if his girl can keep up his YouTube channel and he gets subscribers and he gets views, because that's what you need. You need views, but you need a lot of views. You know, just because you have how many subscribers he has, 600,000, 700,000. Because you have 700,000 subscribers doesn't going to mean you're gonna have all those views. So he has to have views in order for him to make money. He has to have revenues. He has to have commercials in his videos. You know, that's what he needs to do. You know, if his girlfriend, you know, does that every day, opens up a video, every day, or she can, Mimi can, record conversations because she can't do it in jail. Or she can, if he calls, record the conversations with him and Omi, and put that on YouTube, which I'm assuming a lot of his fans would like to hear Omi talk. You don't have to talk about how he's in jail, but let him talk normally, what he's doing, how he misses Mimi, how he misses his son. And those are touching stories, and people will be interested in that. You can make that to another platform until he comes out, and he makes money on that too, because people will be interested in finding out how is he doing in federal prison. So people would, those fans that he have would come back just to listen to Omi for whatever few minutes there is, calling from prison, and see how he's doing. Because despite what he did, he didn't do that big of a crime. You can think of it. He didn't kill nobody. He didn't rape nobody. He just defrauded the government and defrauded some cable company. But did he really hurt anybody? No. He was providing service to somebody. Unfortunately, it was illegal. But that's one way for him to get some sort of revenue from YouTube, to record the conversations that he's had with Mimi or with his kids or whatever the case may be. And people would, like I said, people would be interested in that. That would bring him some revenues. Also, Mimi could take over his channel and revamp it and do something with that channel, and not make it hers, but it'll be his. And she has a following because she was with Omi, and people are still interested in that. If you're a true fan of Omi, no matter how he rebrands his channel, a true fan follows. It may be better, it may not be better than what it was before, but a true fan follows no matter what. If Mimi gets on there and she does something for 5-10 minutes and people may not like it, so people this is whack. You're a follower, you're a fan. You follow you follow that person no matter what, unless they do something ridiculous, and then they go, no, I'm not following that. But if you follow his story, what he did, what he showed you, the cars that he had, and that's what enamored you with Omi, and it's just time for you to follow him now. In times of need. That's how you know when you got true friends. You know what I'm saying? When you in there and you in jail, and you write your letters to Omi, I got your back. Whatever you need, I got you. Because at the end of the day, he's a human being. He made a mistake. We all deserve second chances. But that's how you know who your people are, when you're locked up in there. And to be honest with you, it's not always money-wise, bro. To be honest with you, it's not always. Money does help, but it's not always money-wise. You can always send a letter of support. Say, you owe me. How you doing? Because you get lonely in there. In there. But he's gonna have a lot of things to do there because he's a minimum security. I'm assuming. So you're not gonna get bored. But you still need the human touch. You're in there. You're in prison with people that you don't even know. But if you get fan letters and you see your fans writing to you like, yo, these are my ride or die, no matter what. It's always been there for me. And that's how you know. That's how you know. So if you're a true fan of Omi, you will continue with Omi. You will support Omi, whichever way you feel that you want to support him, and just watch his journey go through with jail. I mean, in a lot of ways, that Mimi, his girlfriend, can benefit from him going to jail. There's a lot of ways. They just gotta learn how to put two and two together. So that's it for me. Like you said, Omi got sentenced on May 8th to 5.5 years in federal state prison. And you know that out of 5.5 years, or any year, the government works in months. So whatever the months they gave him, he's got to do 80% of that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so.